Hello, and welcome to the long anticipated but not at all requested follow-up to Cooking for Your Girlfriend Wife. Today I'm making arguably the most divisive pizza of them all. I'm making the Hawaiian pizza, but in the best way you possibly can. I'm already like 9 steps in, so come along and figure out how to make a Hawaiian pizza with me today on Cooking for Your Girlfriend Wife. The first thing you'll need in your Hawaiian pizza is like a pork product of some kind. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a Kalua pork. And for that, you need a couple things. Let me see how I turn this around. Firstly, you need pork. That's the finished pork, but it's not gonna look like that. You need a pork shoulder. And then you need Mr. Stubbins liquid smokes. And you also need 100% salt from Hawaii. It's red because it's from Hawaii. So once you've got those 3 ingredients, you take a fork and you put your pork shoulder in a crock pot, and then you stab it full of holes, like someone on Forensic Files in a crime of passion. Like stab it like 27 to 57 times, all over the place. And then you rub those wounds full of salt, and then you also rub those wounds full of Mr. Stubbins liquid smokes. After your crime of passion, hit the crock pot on low for 10 hours, and then you're done with that part. This is what your pork will look like after you've eaten a lot of it and put the rest in a leftover Tupperware container and let it sit in the refrigerator for a few days. Okie dokie, Smokey, now you're all porked up. That's good. That takes a long time. Now you're gonna need a barbecue sauce. Once again, mine's done, but I'll tell you what I put in it. If you did it right, your barbecue sauce should look like this. Mine is now room temperature because I turned the heat off like an hour ago. But this is 3/4 of a cup of ketchup, 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar, some cracked pepper, some other things as well. You're also gonna need a pizza dough. That's a really important part in pizza. I've got my little dough baby right here. It's hanging out, and if you take a little peek, it's risen. Yeastus is risen indeed. To make a pizza dough, use one of these, and then add all of these things on the screen to make the dough. And then after you make the dough, you let it sit until it is, like I said, risen until it's doubled in size. If you don't have one of these, you can use your hands, but you should get one of these because it makes things a lot easier. Now, on that last recipe, it says oil. For this particular pizza, to really add the porky taste to the whole pizza, I used some of the oil from the pork guy. So it will separate and save it because I use a lot of it in this recipe, and it's not good for you, but it tastes really good for you. So now it's time to work on the part that people seem to hate the most about this pizza, pineapple. Mine's already sitting in the fridge, as you can see right here, right there. That's my pineapple, and what you do is you cut it, and then you set it upside down in there so all the juices move about the pineapple in a nice juicy manner. I'm gonna cut it up now. So after you've trimmed the sides off, go ahead and lay your little pineapple boy on its side and cut it down to nice manageable rings. Since this is going on a thaw, you don't necessarily want huge chunkaronies. We'll cut the core out of it a little later because no one wants to eat core, you know? Now, if you don't like pineapple on pizza, I get it, but do me a favor and keep your opinion where it belongs. Buried deep down inside where no one can hear. Alrighty, so after you punch some holes in your pineapples, you're gonna want to make yourself a little candying thing. And this right here is brown sugar. This right here is cinnamon. And this right here is red pepper, cayenne, the Jesse Pinkman surprise. You just gotta mix all that in together. If you've seen this before, you know you just gotta keep on stirring. Just stirring it until everything is nice and incorporated. Just keep on stirring. Stirring. Alright, so after you've successfully incorporated all the ingredients and you've maced yourself with it, take it and just dump it onto a plate like this. Because next up, you're gonna dump your pineapple in that shit. So you go and you grab one ring, and you just set it right on top, and give it a little flip, right on top. Kind of, you know, get it all mixed in there. Get it all mixed in there. Don't hesitate. Get it all mixed in there. And you're gonna do that probably once more. It is a pizza, you know, you don't need a million pineapples on it. Some of you boneheads would argue you don't need any, but this isn't your channel, it's mine. So, once again, keep your thoughts and opinions to yourself. I love you. After making a mess, you get to suck your little fingies. Now, a key part of cooking is cooking. And what are we going to cook this pizza on? None other than the barbecue. As I stated before, I'm already like 9 steps in, so get your coals going. And once they're looking about like this, that means shit's pretty much ready. So now that them coals has reached goals, go on and cover the bottom of your barbacoa in a single layer of briquettes. You don't necessarily need them like stack on top of each other. Just cover the bottom. And I'm using mesquites because those reach a hotter temperature and you really want to just scorch the fuck out of your pizza, you know, like 500 degrees please. So now that you got your layer of coals, pick up your chimney of flaming coals, walk it on over, and just try to cover, obviously, the center, but get a nice, even distribution of your little tots. So that way, all those coals are going to catch fire. I'm going to have to move these around. As I said, I'm going to have to do a little moving, so just grab some off the center heap. You know, grab these guys on the edge. And just try to make sure you get a nice balance. You want all your coals to eventually catch fire. Odds are some on the perimeter are going to remain unburnt. You can just use them as fodder for your next chimney next time around. Oh God, this is fucking hot. So that's a good sign. That's a really good sign. If it burns your face, you're doing it right. So now we grab our grate. Drop that on there. Close that bad boy up. You're just gonna bring it up to temp. As you can see, I take great care of my barbecue. Give it like 9 minutes. But during those 9 minutes, be a multitasking machine. We still have a couple things to prep, so let's get prepping. First, let's murder an onion. Personally, I'm a big fan of circles. I once knew a guy who drew circles, and he also drank V8 juice, and his mom was perfect. So we're going to cut our onion into little circles. Since pizza's a circle, and I like circles, let's make circles. And since your target output is a pizza, don't make these like super thick. It's a little thick by my standards, but that is much more like it. So nice thin sizzles of onions. So now we need to prep the pizza thing that we're gonna cook on. So we're gonna grab a little bit of that fat and just coat the bottom of the pan. Get it all in there. So after your pan's coated, grab your dough and rip it in half. You could use all the dough if you want, but that's gonna be like an ultra mega deep dish. I like a pretty regular pizza. So you just take your nice dough. It's already got some pork fat in it. And you're gonna roll it out over your pork fat covered pan. Just start from the center out. You can do some, traditional pizza tossing if you want. Just make sure you want it a little thin in the center and a little more raisin out on the edge so you get that nice crusty crust. And once you've rolled this bad bobby out,
catch me outside.
There we go. We're gonna microwave the last little bit of pork fat because we're gonna use that on the edge of the crust to brown it. And the nice thing about using one of those pizza pans that has little holes in it is it kind of helps roll things out a little bit easier, a little more uniformly. The little holes kind of act as like feet to grip the dough. And as you can see, some of the thinner spots, those are gonna crisp up nice and crisp. All right, so now that we've melted our fat again, just get a brush and just rub along the outskirts of the crust. You don't have to hit the whole thing because the center part is obviously gonna be saucy. And whatever you do on the outside
help it brown up a little bit. And it'll also give a nice, even more porky taste to an already porky pie.
If your crust has been fried, you can go and add, garlic salt or garlic powder or garlic or Italian seasoning or whatever you want to the crust. I'm gonna let it stand on its own because I kind of like a nice buttery, porky bread crust to go along with my pizza. But now we gotta go check on our grill, see how we're doing. Looking, perfect. So next step, we're gonna take our little pineapple rings and we're just gonna flame broil them real quick. Not cooked completely, obviously. They're going back on here in a little while. Put a minute or two per side just to get some scorch marks. But right about now is a great time to start drying out your cheese because we want a nice, juicy pizza, but juicy for the right reason, not because we have too many liquids. To help expedite the drying process, tuck your little cheese babies in for a nap. Give them a nice little pat and a little kiss, all while your dough's rising. Next up, we need to flip our little pineapple babies. Pow! Oop, char-broiled. Pow! And we're gonna add our onions. Onions are gonna be real quick. 1, 2, fuck. Fuck. 3, fuck. After a few minutes each, yo onions and pineapples is done. Now, this next part might seem redundant, but you're gonna put a pizza stone on top of your grill grates. Why? In my opinion, it says Unicook. It helps with uniform cooking. I'm gonna put the pizza on top of this, but shut up. Now, while your pizza stone and grill is coming back up to temp, I'm gonna start saucing up this bad boy. Just add a bit to the center, and then circle it out. Circle it out. Don't hesitate to go a little sauce heavy towards the outside of your pizza, because that's where the thicker crust is gonna be. But towards the center, you do want to go a little thinner. All right, now that we're good and saucy, time to awaken our cheese babies from their little nap. And we're just gonna plop them on the za, not overlapping, providing nice, uniform, cheesy coverage. All this going on while the grill is coming back up to temp. Little light on cheese, but that's a-okay. Alrighty, so after your grill is back up to temp, take your pizza, set it directly on that stone. We've only got the cheese and the crust at this point because we want to let that cook a tiny little bit. Give it about 7 to 10 minutes. Just check up on it. The idea behind waiting and just doing the cheese and the crust is those things aren't cooked yet, but all your other ingredients pretty much are. So if you threw it all on at the same time, you're gonna get some severely overcooked meat, severely overdone onions and pineapples, and you don't really want that. Now, while you're waiting the 7 minutes or so, go ahead and chop up your pineapple. Go with the grain, makes for a lot easier cutting and tearing. Let your onions sit, but then also add a little bit of that barbecue sauce to your room temperature pork. That'll kind of keep it nice and juicy while it's cooking, and then you'll want to just go and, stir it up. Start stirring, and keep on stirring. Stirring, mix until incorporated. Stirring. Daniel stirring. Stirring. Working. Well, according to my handy dandy timer, it's been 7 minutes, so let's see what we're fucking with. Crack this bad boy. Alright. Cheese is starting to bubble. It's a good sign. Very good sign. Smelling nice. Coals are looking nice. Nice and hot. I'm gonna give it another, let's say 3 minutes. After about 10 minutes of pre-cooking, this dough's ready to go. As previously stated, big fan of circles. So you just lay your onions out in a little pile of circles until you have no more onion. And now for the moment you've all been dreading. Pineapple on the pizza. And if you don't like pineapple on the pizza, why don't you like nice things? What's wrong with you? Were you hurt by pineapple on a pizza? And then lastly but not leastly, positively cover this motherfucker in all the pork that you got. Just drench it in pork. And then you're gonna slide her back on the grill for another, let's say 7 to 10 minutes. See you in 7. Mwah. All right, 7 minutes later, we're looking pretty goddamn good. We're not quite there. We're pretty damn close. I'm gonna give it another 4. You can see the edges starting to brown. I don't think the top is gonna brown completely, but it's pretty crusty. Let's do 3. Look, I ended up giving her 5 minutes, but after 5 minutes, for whatever the total cook time is, this baby's done. Slice her open. Alrighty, so the nice thing about greasing this entire thing is, as I said, you get these nice little feet on it, but also she just slid right off onto my pizza peel. No problemo. And lastly, take the last little bit of sauce that you got, put it into a cute little tube, just give her up one final drizzling. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Then you take your handy dandy pizza guillotine and you sentence her to death. Yeah, listen to that crunch. Crunch.